Is Dungeons of Hinterberg worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 207 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, is Germany that scary?
You know, if it was like this, people treat it as vacation. I don't get it.
Apparently. Yeah, we're going to be talking about vacations in Dungeons of Hinterberg, developed by Microbird Games. And this game came out, I'm surprised by this also, July 2024, but only on PC and Xbox.
Huh, yeah. Curious.
Kind of curious. I thought maybe this seems like, and we'll talk about it a little bit, this seems very much like a Switch game. I could see this on the Switch. And I mean, PlayStation seems pretty easy enough to port it on that too. But anyway, I digress. I played this on the PC and it was 8.16 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
On the Series S, 8.69 gigabytes.
Oh, okay.
A little bit bigger,
but not too bad.
Ah.
Not the size of Indiana Jones of the Great Circle.
No. You
Not
could
that.
fit this game. I don't know the math, but it's a lot of times.
It's a lot of times. And well, what kind of game is this, Tom?
I put third-person action RPG.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting. I put third-person dungeon crawling game.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, because I mean, it's kind of in the name, I guess. Too, but
yeah, but you know, when I think of a dungeon crawler, I think I don't know.
Diablo or something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think this is more of an action game.
I mean, it is, but I mean, Diablo, you could also say is an action RPG.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
So, but let's now give the game loop.
I have solve puzzles and defeat monsters to reach the end of a dungeon and stamp your book.
Oh, very descriptive. I just put down complete dungeons to get stronger to complete other dungeons.
Yes, yours is much loopier.
Yeah, I guess you're right. We've got our differences, and that's okay. That's what makes this work. And now let's talk about what does work and what we like about this game, Tom.
Okay, so I liked the comic book style visuals and the the text bubbles and just I guess kind of just the way it looked, like the presentation. Yeah,
it's definitely an interesting look. It's like hyper cell shaded.
Yeah,
I would say
it definitely is
like very thick borders and things like that. And yeah, it definitely stands out. I will say that and it's also very bright. It's a bright game.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean that's the first thing you get smacked in the face with.
Yeah,
is the visuals, and then it's this whole concept that we kind of talked about earlier.
Yeah,
it's taking the dungeon crawling aspect and kind of bringing it to the modern world because you're this girl Louisa, if I remember correctly, and she's going on a vacation. From being a junior lawyer, and we're going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to go dungeon crawling. And
yeah, I really like this premise.
Yeah,
I guess it's interesting that nobody's really. Moonlighter kind of does it, where it's you're a shopkeeper, and then you're moonlighting as an adventurer to stock your shop. But that's still fantasy medievally, right?
Yeah,
This is set in the modern world.
Yeah,
the premise is that dungeons just started to exist in in like Austria and the Alps.
Yep.
And so people go on vacations to go through the dungeons.
Yeah. It's like you know what this is? This is like this is like the next step to rage rooms.
I don't know what a rage room is.
Really?
No.
It's really they're rooms where you just literally go in there and they have just like crap that you can go and smash.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they have I think they even theme them based on what you want to do. So if it's office supplies, so you could have do the whole office space thing and just go to town on a printer, or just furniture that you just want to go and take a sledgehammer to something and have at it. Sometimes I think you can even bring stuff in to go and smash. Depends on the place. But yeah.
This is I've heard of escape rooms,
Yeah.
puzzle rooms that you have to escape. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Me, Chris.
Yeah. Maybe check one out.
I see. I was thinking this more like, some people go on like vacations that are very like adventure tourism.
Yeah.
And like, this is like the next stage of that,
I mean, I guess you can merge the two because you're smashing things while you're also, because it's not just smashing things, like you mentioned also in your game loop, you are solving puzzles, right? You are, and I gotta say, I thought that whole thing, like with the puzzle solving, because like you learn new mechanics and then the mechanics get used immediately. Yeah. And then they kind of layer on top of each other, these mechanics. I thought that that was a very satisfying way to introduce things and like give you an opportunity to use that.
I agree 100%. I think the pacing for that like tutorial felt good. It was like the right speed. And then having platforming and puzzle elements integrated with the combat.
Right.
And that those powers and moves, you're using them both in and out of combat. Like, yeah, I think it was well executed.
Yeah. And combat is simple. You have a light and a heavy attack. So you can do a combination of those two. You have a dodge. And it's pretty satisfying. And you had the climbing mechanics, kind of like it gave me like Assassin's Creed vibes in terms of that.
Yeah.
It's not, I can't say that because I felt like in Assassin's Creed, if I recall, you kind of point your direction stick and he just keeps going. You have to like point and then press the A button in this game. So it's like kind of a halfway measure there or something like that. But yeah, like the pacing in this game was great. The music, again, it's like another, like the music was just like very chill, very like calming throughout the whole thing. And it's like, it's kind of like the opposite of what you would think, especially if you're going into dungeons and stuff like that. Like a lot of times there's like rousing music to kind of get you pumped up throughout the dungeon. And here it's just like kind of like, Bob Ross style, whatever. It's happening.
I guess you are on vacation.
You are. This is true. But things can kill you on vacation.
Yeah, so, I guess it's like vacationing in Australia or something.
I guess so. But not Australia. Apparently Austria, like you said. And I said it was Germany that was scared about. But no, it's Austria we should be scared about. Yeah, and the other thing I appreciated about this game, like it does reward you for going off the beaten path. Like you do pick up power-ups, you do pick up chests or chests that have like money that you can then use to purchase potions and I don't know about skills, but you can definitely use that for other items, which, we've only played the first hour. I'm sure there are other things that will open up as you continue to progress. But
you can buy new gear. And one of the things that I liked about buying that gear is it does change your appearance.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. So like if you pick out armor, like now your character's wearing the armor.
Nice.
And I wasn't sure if that was going to go that way or not based on the art style, but I'm glad that I saw it. And, and you can also change your outfit. Like you can change the way the character looks, which I didn't really usually, you have a main character. It's not a self-insertion.
Right.
And so you're playing as this girl, but you can actually change what she looks like, through the outfits that you buy. So you have some customization there. Then on top of the, the gear stuff. So
yeah. And just to quickly go back to combat. Combat reminded me very much of Hi-Fi Rush in terms of like you get to a particular area. The area gets closed off in this kind of arena, and then you kind of have to go to town on these particular enemies and clear that. So it definitely gave me vibes of that. Oh man, Hi-Fi Rush. Anyway, but yeah.
I think Ni no Kuni did that too.
Where, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Into combat, and then it like kind of locks you into an area to battle in, and you have the ability to freely roam in that enclosed space, but it is an enclosed space.
Right. Yeah. So good stuff. Good things, I guess, copy, I will say. And I thought the puzzles overall, they were definitely challenging, but like, I don't want to say like it was like incredibly difficult or anything like that. It was like, I definitely had moments where it was like, aha, oh, okay. I see what you're trying to do here and how to like combine, like, you get, especially when you get the magic, component of the game, you have an ability that where you create a giant ball, and then you have the ability to create kind of like a chain. Well, I guess there's kind of a ball attached to the chain as well. But that chain you can use to pull things, and then the ball you can use to like act as a weight. And then lo and behold, they show you a particular mechanic where you have to use both of them, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So just things like that, where it just kind of popped up, and you're like, oh, all right, good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else you want to talk about here, or shall we move on to our dislikes?
I appreciated that there is kind of I don't want to call it a romance thing, but you can develop relationships with other characters.
Right.
And as you do that, it grants additional perks. And so what you choose to spend your time on will impact, the game at large.
Yeah. I do also appreciate with that relationship aspect. You meet a particular character a bit later in your hour, and then they just basically lay out every relationship, essentially most of the relationships that you can have, and what they do as you grow in their relationship. So it's like you can pick and choose. Like I want more stamina, or I want more health. Okay, I can focus on this particular person for that particular perk. So I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. So that's what I got there.
Fair enough. I have good segue material if you want to move to dislikes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the ability to check those relationship rewards prior to having conversations to me feels kind of gross, because it feels like it's like, who am I going to talk to so that I can serve my own interests? Like, it feels very min-maxy, very gamey, very like...
I mean, Tom, it is a game after all.
Yeah, but like, that aspect feels like it should be more organic, and it should be like a reward. And then it kind of doesn't. It feels like they're the right people to talk to, especially since the game is set up in such a way that you have to make a choice. It's like having a conversation will advance the clock and move things forward.
Right.
Who do you want to have this conversation with? And then it's like, okay, well, hold on. Let me decide whether or not I want to talk to you, because I might be better served going and talk to somebody else.
Oh, yeah. This is like in Fight Club, you got your single serve friends or whatnot. So, I mean, I guess, but I appreciate, so I can focus on the things that I want to level up on my particular character. Yeah, I guess I'm being a little selfish there, but I'm playing a game. I'm on vacation after all, Tom.
I want to point out, I do think it's kind of lame that you don't create the character.
Oh,
because for a game that's about the real world and you going on vacation, like, it feels like it would make more sense to have you self-insert in this particular instance.
I guess so. But I mean, you kind of like learn a little bit more about your character as you kind of have these conversations with folks, and where she kind of feels like she's stuck in a rut in her particular job and stuff like that. But I guess in a way, I guess for people at a particular age can maybe like relate to it. And I guess to your point, like, does that mean you're kind of just like segregating that, like, so that other people might not be able to relate to it? Like, if you're a younger person, like that doesn't have a job yet or whatever, like, will they have that same, will they be able to connect to this person as much as someone, probably in their early to mid part of their careers or something like that? So I don't know.
I feel like they could have done some just basic stuff.
Yeah.
Set the experience, set the name.
Yeah.
And then kind of like let the rest of the stuff be the, whatever it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, well, let's talk about voice acting.
Okay. Or lack thereof.
Yeah, that's exactly it. There's no voice acting.
No voice acting.
It's just bloops of the text display. Mm-hmm. What did you put it down as?
Taka. I think I'm stealing that from you, because like I felt like that was just like what was going in my mind as the text was just scrolling through, and I was like, at one point I was like, is there a way I can turn this off? Just that audio, and I didn't go to the menu because. Yeah, I was the dialogue, I think overall was pretty good though.
Yeah.
It was good writing, but it was just that noise just was getting to me. There was nothing that was really masking itself like that.
That could be a problem there with, the music is so chill that it doesn't drown out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess it could be a fix somewhere, maybe, please. It's just July. It only got released in July. They could fix it. So
there's time to patch.
It's plenty. People always patch things, day one patches. Now it's a 6-month patch. Do that, please. Why not? I know you mentioned that the visuals you enjoyed. I don't know. I felt the visuals were a bit hit or miss with me.
Okay.
Some of it, like I feel like the landscapes were very pretty.
Yes.
And then but then the characters just sometimes are just kind of gross looking at times. There's just certain angles of them that was just like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Especially because they have those thick borders around them.
Sure.
Like sometimes it just looked very jarring. Like it just didn't look right. But I mean, it does have style. They did stick to a style, but it just, I don't know. It wasn't very appealing overall to me. But I mean, I know you said you liked it, but I was just, something about it. Just
I like when somebody has a style, right? Like when they make a design choice to stylize it in some way, shape, or form, because I do think this will continue to look this way forever.
True.
We're not going to look back at this, 5 years from now and be like, oh, it could have looked so much better, whereas when you know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying.
When you do something that looks pseudo realistic, it just never looks good later. So as good as it looks today, it will not look that good tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, when you think about when the PlayStation 1 came out and Resident Evil, oh my gosh, this looks so amazing. And now it's like you go back and look at it, what were we thinking? It's like
it's a woof.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's just how things are. And I am kind of curious to see how a couple of these games that have come out recently will look in a couple of years. But yeah, I don't know about you. I felt like I was getting jump scared into these battles. Because they would just ran because it almost felt like a JRPG. You just ran a battle just commences and these things just pop up out of nowhere. And I don't know, that's when the music swells for a moment, and then you're it just always gave me a little bit of a jump scare, especially when you don't see the enemies.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they just seem to pop up. You're like, oh, okay, this is going down right now. So that was, I mean, I wasn't expecting there to be jump scares for me, but there were a couple, and I don't like that. I don't like that, Tom.
Well, I have some beef with the combat myself.
Mm-hmm.
So the reward for beating up a hard monster is the same as beating up an easy monster.
Right.
They just kind of drop the teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a lot of work. Can't they drop 2 or 3 or something else? I don't know.
Yeah, a rare tooth, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Or I don't know. Bigger, at least more teeth, like you mentioned, would totally make sense. But no, they just too bad. This is what you get. Yeah. You're on vacation, still working hard here.
Yeah, it just felt strange. If I didn't have to beat up the strong monsters, I'd probably just run away from them.
Right. That's true. And because I felt like most of the time, and again, I know this is still early, but you were basically fighting the same guys, and then they did introduce a couple of new guys near the end of my hour. There was a range kind of magic fighter or whatever that you had to take on. There was one that looked like a goat that shoved its head in the floor and then started hitting you with the head as it popped out. I don't know, it's weird, but yeah. And I know there's the whole relationship stuff. There's obviously a lot of dialogue that you have to go through. And one of the parts, though, is in the dialogue system, you have choices that you make in terms of what you say to these people. And my question really is is there any point in why I pick a particular option? Will that lock me out of something? I guess as you progress with particular conversations or with particular relationships, maybe. But I didn't get it, like what was the point of it yet, because I didn't like pursue any relationships further. But my assumption is that, but I'm like, oh, is this a good thing, or am I just kind of pointlessly just picking something and then it's not going to affect the long-term results? But yeah, I don't know. Well, what else you got here, Tom?
I have a couple more nitpicky mechanical problems. Mm-hmm. So like the wrecking ball that we were talking about, the big ball that you drop and then you can detonate, like it should have been able to break a wall, but it didn't work. And it was just placement or something. It was one of those fickle mechanical issues. I don't want to call it a bug because I dropped it again and tried again and then it worked, but it should have worked the first time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I also, we were talking about the jumping. So there's no jump button.
Yeah.
You can jump on things, but only when like it gives you the option to. It's all very context sensitive.
Right.
And for an action game like this, that feels weird.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have like a downward slash or something like that. That would have been cool. Like, it give you the ability to do different types of, because combat is you do it quite often. Like I said, you can do light and heavy attacks, but like to add a little spice with the melee attacks, like just be able to do a jump attack or something, that would be cool. But yeah, it's not there. It is not there. And that's kind of unfortunate. But like Zelda, how do they do it in Zelda though? Is there a jump? Oh, no, there is a jump in Zelda, isn't there?
Yeah, I feel like.
Oh, it's just on the wrong button. That's what it was. It's that's what it is. I keep forgetting that. That's so frustrating. But anyway, cool. All right. Shall we move on to our other thoughts then, Tom?
I am ready if you are ready.
Okay, I am. How Long to Beat says this game takes 14 hours to complete. So solid. Definitely a weekend kind of thing if you have that kind of time, or like maybe a couple hours during the week. I don't know.
Yeah, you could spread it out over the course of a week.
Yeah, so it's something to do there.
Dungeon a day.
Yeah, and I think they kind of tell you that like there's like not that many. I think 25 or something like that. At least from what I remember reading in some of the text that was there. But xCloud and Play Anywhere compatible, so you can play this on the go, and it'll save your progress on your PC or Xbox. So
are you telling me that you can play the game about taking vacations while you're on vacation?
You definitely can. Definitely can. So I'm just saying. Now, what do you got there, Tom?
Okay, so we touched on it. The studio is an Austrian studio. This is their debut title. Hinterberg is inspired by, and I may be saying this wrong, Hallstatt, which is a small town in Upper Austria. The goal was to leverage the parallels between playing games and real-life vacations. I think they've got it. The quote I got here is, "Every game is a digital vacation from real life." So the idea that when we play our games for this show, we're taking a little vacation. They figured, what if we took an actual vacation, kind of thing. Okay. And they borrowed the different phases from Persona. So the doing the combat during the day and then having the conversations at night is a very, kind of thing.
And also the numerous copious amounts of dialogue. They copied that from Persona as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Good to know. And now, Tom, we need to find out, are we keeping this game on our respective hard drives, or are we saying goodbye to this lovely town of Hinterberg and never going back there? Given a Yelp rating of 1 star. I don't know. Something like that.
I am going to give this a pretty strong recommendation. Would return to this bed and breakfast.
Okay.
So despite some small irksome design choices that bugged me, honestly, the truth was I found it pretty hard to put down because I was having fun playing it. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me, right? If we play video games to have fun, and I was having fun. So more, please.
Nice. Yeah. I'm going to agree with you because it was such a quirky game, even though the art style just didn't really jive with me. the just the gameplay itself felt really good. Like they really took the time to like plan things out, design the dungeons, and it felt really good. And I can definitely see myself playing more of it, and maybe even on vacation I might play more of it. So
yeah, there you go.
I'm going to be keep playing this game and keep it on my hard drive. So those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter, Blue and Threads at TC1H1D, Blue Sky at 1H1D, or an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our next streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe you can let us know if Tom said that town's name correctly. That would be great.
Yeah.
Be good to know. Or check out any of our other reviews that we have there on YouTube as well. 1H1D is part of the QTV network. And if you like any great gaming content, check it all out at quitthebill.com/network.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Now, Tom.
Yes.
We do need to find out what we're playing next, don't we?
Yes. What will it be?
Well, we will be finding out by pressing the surprise me button. Here we go. Oh, all right. Lightyear Frontier.
Never heard of it.
Well, now you have. And that's what we're playing next, Tom. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this episode, and we will catch you in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.